Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Jurassic World video. In today's video we'll be discussing a new fan favourite dinosaur that made its debut in Jurassic World Dominion. This would be the incredible and vibrant Pyroraptor. In the movie, we didn't really get to see what happened to this dromaeosaurid, and we were always left wondering about its fate. Well, today we explain to you exactly its backstory and what might have happened to it after the events of Jurassic World Dominion. There's actually a lot to it, so be sure to stick by and watch the entirety of the video to understand its full story. But for now, make sure you've got some snacks ready as we go ahead with today's video and explain what happened to the Pyroraptor from Jurassic World Dominion. Jurassic World Dominion features the Pyroraptor, a dinosaur species that was introduced to the saga for the first ever time via this film. This was a dinosaur that a few people were considering for the future of Jurassic, and thankfully we got it. While some people aren't a big fan of its design, for me it was a remarkable looking dinosaur that I really enjoyed seeing throughout this movie. Unfortunately however, it came across as quite underwhelming to some, and it felt like it was just there for the purpose of being a nuisance to Owen and Kayla when they crash land their plane into a frozen lake in the Dolomite Mountains. After this, a chase pursues as we see the Pyroraptor hunt down both of our characters. However, as we suspected before the movie released, it turns out that the Pyroraptor's webbing on its feet allowed it to swim underwater, creating an immense and thrilling underwater scene between him and Owen Grady. But, as usual, plot armor comes to the rescue and Grady is pulled out of the water before the Pyroraptor can have a chance to bite at him. However, the Pyroraptor continues to chase them down on top of the ice up until they are safe by hiding in some elevator of some sorts. After this, we never get to see the Pyroraptor ever again in this movie, but using a bit of logic and some Easter eggs and details that you probably missed throughout this movie, we can make out exactly what happened to this creature before and after Dominion. So the obvious standout point here about this Pyroraptor in Jurassic World Dominion was that there was only one that showed up throughout the movie. No matter where we looked, not another single Pyroraptor was shown in this film. Considering that this dinosaur is a pack hunter, it's quite odd to see just the one of them. The Velociraptors and Atrociraptors at least had pack mates with them, but the Pyroraptor, just the one. But it is incredibly safe to assume that this Pyroraptor was indeed part of a pack a little while ago. But what exactly happened to his pack mates? Well, we'll get into that soon, as, to make it make sense, we have to first look into where this Pyroraptor was located. So one of the biggest confusions amongst the fanbases is to why the Pyroraptor was hidden away in the Arctic snowy terrain of the Dolomite Mountains. Well, there may actually be a reasonable understanding behind this. It actually turns out that the Pyroraptor was never placed there on purpose when Biosyn created this dinosaur. This dinosaur was originally located within the forest of the Biosyn Sanctuary, and I have a fair reason to believe that it wasn't the only one ever made either. So, when we take that into account, we can assume that something happened to its packmates. They must have had a nice and standard time in the sanctuary, just like any other species that was roaming the forest, when suddenly something happened to them and one was left behind. It's understandable that this loner would go out about its life trying to find its packmates again, after all, they are sociable creatures. But after searching the entire forest, he would then come across the next possible area, which would be the frozen river dam of the Dolomites. Knowing how good of a climbing ability Pyroraptors can have, he must have scaled this mountain and made his way on top of it, which leads us into the events of Jurassic World Dominion. So, technically speaking, this Pyroraptor escaped the confines of the sanctuary and was never meant to be there after all. It was simply there seeking for his packmates, who just simply disappeared. But obviously, considering that it's feathered and is possibly endothermic, the Pyroraptor would have been able to survive this cold climate, and it probably would not have affected him too badly. So it was a logical thing to assume that his packmates would have been up there. However, scaling back down the mountain might have been a difficult choice to make. So that's why we see the Pyroraptor with loads of snow on its feather when it first shows up in the movie. It seems like this little guy was sleeping up here as he simply couldn't get down, bless him. But the question now remains is, what happened to his packmates in the movie? Well, we actually have an answer to this, but before we answer, just a friendly nudge in the right direction to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this video and want to learn more about the Jurassic franchise. Feel free to also like the video if you happen to enjoy, as it really helps out the channel a lot, and it's at no extra cost to you. So when we take a look at the movie, it's clear that some creatures that are Biosyn variants have made their way into the modern world. We can see that there are a couple of Quetzalcoatluses on top of the One World Trade Center. The Parasaurolophus herd at the start of the movie are also Biosyn variants, and even the Morus Intrepidus at the end of the movie as well. All of these are Biosyn variants that have somehow been let out into this world. While it is possible that this could be due to containment issues, I strongly believe that they're actually selling their genomes, DNA, research, and even the dinosaurs themselves out into the public just to gain that extra bit of revenue into the already massive $36 billion a year income that they already have. So it's highly likely that Biosyn are selling their creations across the world, leaving them to continue to be funded by the government to then capture these dinosaurs and rehouse them. To be fair, it might be an illegal business plan, but I can't deny that it is a smart business plan. But anyways, what does this have to do with the Pyroraptor and the whereabouts of its packmates? Well, by now you would be assuming that Biosyn sold the Pyroraptors elsewhere, but where exactly? Well, during a scene in Jurassic World Dominion's motor sequence, we head on down to the underground market where we can see a scoreboard of dinosaurs that were fighting in Malta with multiple dinosaur species on it. Now, I know some of you are probably looking at this and thinking, Swerve, how on earth can you read those names? Well, thanks to a behind the scenes photograph of this exact prop, we actually know the names that are on this list. Match 1, Carnotaurus won this battle. Baryonyx won the second match, with Triceratops winning the third one. But the Triceratops one seems to be crossed out oddly enough, not too sure why. Gallimimus and Dimorphodon was up next, and then we have the special Pyroraptor in match 6. It's also worth noting that the Oviraptor is match 8's winner, and since we see him battle the Lystrosaurus, and obviously lose, then I assume that this battle was match 9, and the Lystrosaurus versus the baby Carnotaurus was match 10, but that's just my logical assumption. Anyways, it seems as if these Pyroraptors have indeed been sold across the globe, and at least one of them made their way over to the black market sale in Malta and got caught up in this forced illegal fighting that was happening in the underground. Meaning that this is what happened to the Pyroraptor from the pack that used to be in the Biosyn forest. So to me at least, that explains exactly what happened to the Pyroraptor after Jurassic World Dominion and what happened to his packmates during Jurassic World Dominion. To a T, the Pyroraptor went looking for his missing pack members and so climbed the mountain to the snowy frozen river. He simply couldn't get back down as it was just far too dangerous, so decided to reside there for the time being. During all of this, the Pyroraptors were being sold off to people across the globe, and one of them actually made their way over to the Maltese black market that was then forced to fight. After this, we can only presume that it died off in one of those fights. Either way, that's everything that we do know about the Pyroraptor in Jurassic World Dominion explained. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to leave a like and let me know what you think about the Pyroraptor story below. It would also be fantastic if you choose to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, but most importantly, all I ask for from you guys today is to make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you, did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.